When you told me this, I was like, whoa, that's super valuable. We all need to know about this.
Yeah. This really is a way of saying when things are hard, it's not your fault, and there's something you can do to build the circuit of capability. I remember something she told us, and it's truly something that shapes me every day. And she said,
I have a question about Miss Edson.
yes.
People are going to be like, what? Before we started recording, you shared with us something I think is entirely appropriate to what we're talking about now, which is learning hard things and frustration tolerance.
Yep.
And you've evolved these concepts, in the course of your work and through your own parenting child relationships, clearly your own and then yours with your kids. Who was Miss Edson and what did she teach you? Because when you told me this, I was like, whoa, that's super valuable. We all need to know about this.
Yes. So Miss Edson was my second grade teacher. And I remember writing in her class. And I remember something she told us, and it's truly something that shapes me every day. And she said, if something feels too hard to start, it just means that the first step isn't small enough. And then she really kind of made this even more concrete, because what I remember in her class writing, and I still use this in writing today, is, okay, so if something feels too hard to do, the implication is it doesn't mean it's my fault. It doesn't mean I can't. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. It literally just means the first step isn't small enough. That's very actionable. And so the way I play around with it now, even in my own writing, is, okay, I have to write a new article. And I'm like, I can't do that. Okay, so I'm in I can't mode. Okay, if something is in I can't mode, if it feels too hard, I hear her voice. It just means the first step isn't small enough. So I'll make it, literally, I'll just make it smaller. I'm going to write a page today. And then often I'm like, I can't do that. Okay, smaller. A paragraph. No. And I literally do it until, and some days it's a word. And I go, oh, you know what? I can write a word. Okay, now enough. Okay, right? And I really think Miss Edson was ahead of her time. I mean, obviously now we talk a lot about frustration tolerance, growth mindset, but this really is a way of saying when things are hard, it's not your fault, and there's something you can do to build the circuit of capability. Because I think when we're trying to do something hard, there are, like if you think about it, I don't know, you're on the top of a ski mountain, and on the one side is the I can't, it's too hard, and the other side is I can. We all have natural capability. I really believe this, every person. But it's just about figuring out how to get your skis like to the beginning of the ski slope. And then maybe if we've practiced being on the I can't do hard things slope, our skis keep trying to turn, but we just have to keep getting them back. And so if we tell ourselves I can't do this and we just stay there, stagnant. But if you say, wait, smaller, 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 smaller. Like I used this with a client a while ago. I can't ask my boss for a raise. I know I deserve it. Cool, no problem. Let's make it smaller. Okay, what would be smaller? I don't know. Let's get creative. Could you write down what you would say? Okay, no. Could you say the word to me 5 times out loud? Raise, 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 raise. I remember she laughed. She goes, I could do that. Cool, let's start there. Okay, she literally did that. What I think is so powerful about Miss Edson's advice is as soon as we get even our skis a tiny bit into the I can circuit, the I can slope, we're actually just a lot more likely to stay there, or at least that becomes a bigger part of our identity, right? So with this woman that I was working on this with, one of the things we were working on, it was just, okay, so you did that. Amazing. The next thing I even just had her play around things saying to me, can you say to me, I deserve a raise? It was very interesting. She had, I think this was one of the reasons she had trouble speaking up for it. It was really hard for her to embody that. We said that. She couldn't. I remember a week she said, I'm going to write it down and bring it. She didn't. Again, I like parenting. I didn't punish her. I didn't send her to her room. I said, okay, that was just too big. Let's make it smaller. Let's write it together. We wrote some things down there, right? I then had her write it as an email and send it to me. And I then had her practice it with her best friend. And then she asked her boss for a raise. I don't even, probably no one's surprised. Yeah, that makes sense. She'd gone through a lot of steps. But it's just applicable in every area of your life. So even anyone listening, We all have something in our I can't category. This is too hard, or I can't. And we just stay there. And if you hear Miss Edson saying, wait, if something feels too hard to do, it only means that the first step isn't small enough. And if then the next smallest step feels too hard, no biggie, like no judgment, make it smaller, make it smaller, make it smaller, and then allow yourself to eventually build up from there.
Love it.
Love Miss Edson.